Hello. So I have just got back into Diablo 2. It came out on Steam. So I had this game back in the day when I was a kid, like most people. Bought it on blizz.net game launcher when it came out, the remake, and then recently on Steam it's got new updates and achievements, so I bought it again on Steam, and you know, it's probably one of the only games I'd buy like twice. But here we go. So I'm just going to talk through some of my characters and a bit about how the game works really. So let's have a look. When I installed the game on Steam, all my characters came through from blizz.net, Blizzard. So I did have a head start, which is why I've got 87 Sorceress, 67 Paladin, 91 Paladin, 88 Sorceress. So I've got online and offline characters. So I did a little bit of offline back in the day, and then I went full on into online. But now I'm coming back to the game, I'm going to play offline. So if we look, this is my best character online. So online, I think it's a lot easier because you can trade. You find one or two good items that you don't need, and you can trade for a lot of things that you do need. So this is my Hamadin. So I'm not playing these characters anymore. I'm playing single player, farming myself for all the items. But I'm just going to show you what like my end game Hamadin build look like. So if we go to, where am I going? Go to here. So this is my Hamadin. I use a wizard spike because of 50% faster cast rate. Breakpoints are how much of a certain attribute you need for it to make a difference. So if you look here, faster cast rate, 125% faster cast rate, which is a lot, but that is the breakpoint for teleportation, Hamadin for the hammer skill. See how fast? It's 125 faster cast rate to be able to do these skills this fast, and it makes a massive difference. If I removed one item and this went to 120% faster cast rate, I'd basically lose that break point and go down to the next one, which I think is like 75%. So if I'm not going to hit, well, if you're not going to hit 125% faster cast rate, then you only need 75%, because between 75% and less than 125%, nothing's going to change. So if you can't hit the 125, like I said, this is an end game build. Everything's like, I've got Enigma, you know what I mean? If you can't hit 125%, you stick with 75%, which is fine. But I'm just saying, if you do 90%, 100%, 105%, it's still going to go as fast. The skills are still going to go as fast as the 75%, because they're the two breakpoints, 75, 125. That's how breakpoints work, and you have it for a lot of things. So faster hit recovery. When you get hit, how quick can you hit back and do your next skill? If it's low, it's like a stun. But if it's quick, you can just hit them back straight away. So you got breakpoints for a lot of things, and hitting those breakpoints makes so much of a difference. So I've got like a wizard spike, 50%, because it's got 50% faster cast rate on it, and loads of resists. So this is a really good item for this. So I'm just going to show you how I would do this. Haven't used this character for years. So here, literally, I got my habit. Look at my mana. My mana's not moving. And everything just dies instantly. It's really fun build because literally, like, you can just teleport anywhere and kill anything. Like, look at my resistances. I've got 80% lightning resist. You know what I mean? So this is what an in-game paladin build looks like. 11k hammers. I can get higher as well, I think. But yeah, look, nothing can touch me basically. Oh, and just remembered. Let me go all the way back. Just because I can. So also, let me show you some of the other stuff. I've also got all these. They're called skillers. They're grand charms with +1 to skills. Hellfire Torch from killing Ubers. Annihilus from killing Clone Diablo. Yeah. Then life. All life. Small charms. These aren't that great. But basically, to get all these in single player, it would take a very long time. But I traded them all. And I traded them for like, I think these were 1 ist rune each back in the day, I think. And then I've never killed any Ubers. I've never killed Clone Diablo. Traded for these as well. And just look at the stats on them. So if you look at the tree, got 38 skills to Blessed Hammer. Yeah. So max is 20. So I have 18. I have +18 to skills on all my gear. It's literally like, you know, I'm not saying it's the best of the best, but it's pretty close. All combat skillers. You know, I could get another 2 combat skillers. I'll probably have another 2 actually. I haven't checked. And yeah. So combat skillers, and then these just boost up your skills from 20 to 38, which is quite crazy. And my damage is 10 to 11k. Also, you see my life is 2,100 and mana is 700. You know the barbarian war cries that boost damage, health, and all that? On this rune word, you get +2 to battle command, +2 to battle orders, +4 to battle cry. I think they go to +4. It's like a random roll between 1 and 4 or 2 and 4 or whatever. That's on my offhand. So if I switch to the offhand, I've got these skills assigned. So watch. See how fast he's doing it as well because of the faster cast rate. But look at my health now, 3,200. And the mana, oh yeah, mana's 900, 3,200. So this is a pre-buff, and you can use this on every character with call to arms. So you put the pre-buff on, which is massive. Mana, life, 3,200. You can get it even higher, you know what I mean? And it's just like, keep pressing the wrong button. But like I don't think I can die really. This is on hell. Obviously like harder zones, terrorized zones and that might be harder. Terrorized zones weren't a thing when I created this character. But I'm just showing you like how good this character was. Well, is. Like nothing can touch him really. One more thing I want to show and explain. So they were the rune words. Call to arms rune words for the pre-buff. I'm using spirit for faster cast rate and resists. An enigma. So this is what gives me the teleportation skill. So only the sorceress can teleport. That's why she's so good as a farmer, because you can just teleport everywhere and get the magic find up high and just teleport around. However, with enigma, the rune word, every character has the ability to teleport. So if we look, I got +1 to teleport, yeah? But the skill level is 11 because of my plus skills. Doesn't matter anyway. Even level 1 teleport's good enough. But I got really fast cast rate for my hammers, and it also applies to the teleport. So I can teleport and do hammers really quick. You know what I mean? Like the faster cast rate is worth it on this build because of the hammers and the teleport. So teleport hammers, that's all I need to do. So Enigma is like, it's one of the best, if not the best, rune word in the game. But it uses jar and burr runes. Very difficult to find runes. But again, I traded up to these. It didn't take me that long, in all honesty. Like, it can take years in single player, but in multiplayer, it can take like, for a normal player like me, like a couple months. Trading items, you know, like the Amazon, the best in slot Amazon javelins. I found like a pair of those that I didn't need because I don't use javelin Amazon, and I traded them for like a really high rune, and then it just goes from there. You know what I mean? The pre-buff obviously wears out, but it's so good, honestly. Oh, look at that. One more thing, so they're rune words, some of the good rune words. The mercenary. So another good thing to talk about is the mercenary. Okay. So the mercenary is really valuable, and it's most valuable for sustaining mana. So like the sorceress, like the Hammerdin, you use mana constantly, like a lot. So what I do is, well, what anyone does is they use insight, a very cheap rune word. You can put insight on like an ethereal thresher, which is a very high damage weapon. So the merc can deal high damage, but also using insight as the rune word, you get meditation aura when equipped. So this merc is giving me the aura of meditation, which is mana regen. So because my merc is equipped with insight, I get the meditation aura, and that gives me the mana sustain. So you can use this very early on. You just need something that's 4 sockets, preferably something high damage. Ethereal items have higher stats because they can't be repaired, but on a mercenary the durability doesn't go down, so you can use ethereal everything. So look at this Duriel shell. I've upped it to a higher base, which is the great Hauberk, and it's ethereal. So the defense is just crazy on this item. And the durability won't go down, although it has gone down on this a little bit. I must have used it on a character or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's mad. 33 out of 150. I wonder why it's low. Anyway, insight is a must-have. So early as possible, get an insight. Especially if you have a sorceress, get an insight and equip it on your merc. Otherwise, you can't teleport very far and you can't do a lot of skills, because your mana will just run out all the time. So insight is a must. If you look on this, I'm teleporting, I'm using hammers. Look at the mana, just shoots back up. It barely even dips. I mean, I do have a large mana pool on this character, obviously, but like, it's just really good on any caster character or magic character that uses mana. So to play this game efficiently, like to have fun with it and like get anywhere in the game, because it can be annoying if you just keep getting killed. To progress and like, you know, I think to like enjoy it more, you need to sort of have a look at what the items do and what the builds are. Without knowing what the optimal builds are, you can struggle and it can be infuriating. Like knowing to use an insight, because this is cheap. The insight, you can get this in like normal or nightmare, I think, early. Knowing to put an insight on your mercenary can help so much, and knowing the breakpoints, you know, early on as a sorceress to get like 75% faster cast rate will help so much, and it will be such a big difference, and stuff like that. Make sure your resistances are always up. In most classes, you'll never put a point in energy. You put as little as possible into strength and dexterity for you to be able to use the items, and all the rest in vitality, on almost all builds. So for example, my spirit is in, have a look, required strength 86, which might be the highest. Required strength 88. Required strength 106. So let's say this belt has the highest strength requirement on the build. I would then try and get my base value, well, try and get the strength value to match that. You don't want to put excess points into things, basically. So if your highest item is 100 strength requirement, you only want 100 in strength. So if you look at this character, I haven't put a single point into strength really. The base value is 33. The gear is pushing it from 33 to 160, which doesn't matter. So it means my strength is, I've only put 33 points into it, which means I put more points into vitality. And that's why your vitality scales like this. And obviously you can go even higher. But yeah. So I made this, when I come back into this game, I made a spreadsheet, because I just came back into it and I seen all my characters and I was like, oh, what am I looking at? It only took me like one afternoon to try to really get back into it. But basically I made a spreadsheet to tell me like, what builds am I doing? What gear am I looking for? What rune words am I looking to create next, and what runes they are? And yeah, it sort of helps me out by putting it all onto like a spreadsheet so I can look at it and see where I am. So for instance, let me have a look. Look at this sorceress, Full Tower Rashes, which is quite a good set. You get this glowing aura because I got the full set, which is the same as Mortal Kings. Immortal Kings is for the Barbarian, that's a set, and you also get a glow. Let me just show you something. Another rune word that's really good. Treachery. Here we go. So this is a rune word that's not that crazy to get. The third rune, Lem, takes a while, especially single player, but it's not like impossible. So all you need really is a Lem and the Shell and Thumb. The Shell and Thul rune, quite easy to get. So if you get a Lem, you can get this rune word, Treachery. So like I was saying earlier, like knowing what rune words are worth making and when you can make them. So again, insight on my sorceress for the mercenary, always a must. Now Treachery is good because you get a 5% chance to cast level 15 Fade when struck. So if you look at the mercenaries' resistances, they're not great, but every time my mercenary gets hit, there's a 5% chance that he casts Fade on himself. And Fade, I think, is an assassin skill, and basically it makes him nearly impossible to be hit, and all his resistances shoot up. So he like self procs Fade on himself when he gets hit. There's a 5% chance. And like knowing to get this rune word on your mercenary with the insight is quite good. So for my single player characters, I've only just got back into playing on single player, and I've just made another treachery for my current merc, and it's really good. Again, I've put this in a ethereal base because the defense is higher on ethereal items and the durability doesn't go down. So Thresher, one of the highest damage base items, it's in ethereal as well, so the damage is even higher and the durability doesn't go down. So you try and use ethereal items on the merc. But another tip, because treachery is the rune word on this merc, because it's like takes a while to make. If I want to put treachery on another character, so maybe I want to put treachery on my paladin, I couldn't do it with this because it's ethereal. So unless you're going to make two, your first rune words, don't put them in ethereal bases because you might want to use them on your actual characters where they can get hit and the durability will go down and they'll break. You can't repair ethereal. So yeah, they are the tips, and that is where I am. Let me go to my single player characters. I'm going to make a barbarian. I was farming with the sorceress and I got a few things. Haven't come back to the paladin yet or the druid, but I think I'm going to start a barbarian. I can farm Mephisto and Ancient Tunnels really easy with this character now. It's pretty good, man. So I've got Treachery, the one I just made. So I put it on a non-ethereal base because I might use it on my barbarian or my paladin before I get something better. And then Insight on a Thresher. If finding Threshers is difficult, getting it to be 4 sockets is difficult, and then an ethereal 4-socket Thresher is even more difficult, obviously. So if you find anything 4 sockets, whack it in because the runes are cheap. And then if you find another base along the way, 4-socket ethereal Thresher is like best in slot, or giant Thresher. I've never even seen a giant Thresher, but if you got like an ethereal giant Thresher 4-socket base, like it's like the best in slot item, and the damage will be slightly boosted up. So for this one, I'll use this on other characters, so non-ethereal base. And then yeah, I've just been saving bases, look. So I want dual griefs on my whirlwind barbarian, and I've already got 3 phase blade 5-socket items. So if you're a new player, I do strongly recommend looking up what rune words you want and what the best bases are. These are all bases, white items with sockets, and you can put the sockets in yourself with a cube and all that, but look up what rune words you want, what bases they go in, because you don't want to miss the bases, like leave it on the floor and then you get a rune and then you can't find a base. So always look for bases. You want to find your bases. You want to know what your bases should be. You want to know what runes you need. You want to know what items you're looking for, to hit the next break point, to get you over that, to get you that bit more powerful, what will make a big difference. What your merc needs and all that, man. The game's been out for ages, like years, 20 years, 25 years, whatever. So the guides on the internet are crazy. Even ChatGPT is good because it has so much information to go off. It just tells you, like, oh, if you're this character, you need these items and all this, man. It's good. Like, the game's really, really good. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little video just to go through what I've got, what I'm doing, and a little bit of a tutorial as well, because I just fancied doing that. So thank you for watching. I'll do another update if I get anything good or become more powerful with any of these characters. I'll do another update, and we'll see, man. We'll see. Thank you for watching.